So this is part two of why Christians should consider Donald Trump. And in the last video before it cut out, I was talking about how James White, this public Christian speaker, recently made video of his opinion of the 2016 election in Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. And I was saying before that last video cut out of how James White is not a news person, and the amount of research that he's probably put into the video, or I mean into Donald Trump, probably hasn't been very substantial. You know, these are common accusations against Trump. If you're not for Trump, these are the kinds of things that you will hear without really going in deep and understanding a lot of the different things going on or the things that were said or looking at a lot of the evidence. Okay, this is just really a generalization of the man that he is speaking of. Obviously, I don't think that James White has, or other Christians have, spent every day with Donald Trump. Even presently, I hear that Dr. Michael Brown has friends who have actually been surrounding Donald Trump and have been speaking to Donald Trump about, the Lord and very good positive Christian influence upon him. And Donald Trump hasn't pushed them away. He's got godly men surrounding him, which is a good thing. That's something else that James White and maybe other Christians haven't considered or didn't bring up. I find in a lot of the critiques of Donald Trump, they always leave out really important information, like the positive information. And they always talk about a lot of the bad things. That seems to be the center of the focus. I think it's fair that you present both sides of the story if you're wanting to be fair and, completely honest. And so while James White and many other Christians may think Donald Trump to be this foolish person, okay? Foolishness. How foolish. He doesn't have any reasoning. He doesn't have any logic. He must have never had any history classes. He must have never read the Constitution. I mean, accusation after accusation with completely unfounded evidence to base any of these accusations on. And, people are free to have their own opinions, and that's great. And I love being able to respond to this stuff. He asked questions in this video, and I'm providing answers. I'll be the one person maybe on YouTube that responds to this. And so I want to read a verse, 1 Corinthians 1:27. And I'll read the King James Bible, and I'm not a King James only person, so I don't want to upset anyone. But it says, "But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty." So, to James White and all these other folks who think Donald Trump is foolish, God says that he can take those foolish things and he can use them, to confound the wise. And God can take and choose the weak things of the world to shame the things which are strong. And you want to know who's strong in this election? The political machine. Hillary Clinton is the establishment. She's got all the money from the special interests. Okay? It's a corrupt, broken system. She's got that. The media is what gives her her power. Donald Trump is a voice for the American people. It's the American people as a collective that are sick and tired of this broken, corrupt system. They're sick and tired of the media being biased and unfair and dishonest. And he's out there speaking about this stuff that should have been spoken about for years before him. And he's taken the courage to stand up and to speak the truth. Why doesn't anybody talk about that in the Christian circle? I mean, I could go on and on and on about different things. you claim that thinking Donald Trump is going to elect the Supreme Court justices to be conservative Christians and that it's mythical. On what basis? On what evidence? We have to make decisions based on what we do know, not on what we don't know. Anybody can say, well, it's a gamble, it's a risk. I don't know. He might not do it. So therefore, I'm not going to be proactive. I'm not going to make any positive step forward in the right direction. Even if that step forward in the right direction is a very small step, and even if it only accomplishes very little, it's still in a better direction. We're to think positive and realistic. In Philippians it talks about how Christians are to think about good things, pure things, lovely things, things of true report. We're supposed to want to pray. We're commanded even to pray for the leaders in our government. We want to see them to know the Lord, if they don't already. We want to see godly Christian people in government that would bring honor to God and glory to God. Maybe we don't understand everything, and that's okay because we're not perfect. We don't have all knowledge. And so what I'm saying is, while everybody else out there might think it's Donald Trump is foolish, read that verse again. 1 Corinthians 1:27. Now you might say, well, yes, but you're taking that out of context. Look, it's pretty clear what it says. It says God chose what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. God chose what is weak in the world to shame the strong. And you know what? Every time that people attack Trump, you would think he would get smaller and weaker, but on the contrary, he gets bigger because more people in America wake up to the fact that, hey, the system really is rigged. And contrary to what James White and many other Christians might believe about Americans, about how they're all secular, about how they all hate God, about how they're all pro-abortion and all this stuff, I think that there's a very good likelihood that most Americans actually have a conscience, actually want to see justice, actually want to see law enforced, actually do genuinely have a knowledge of scriptures. Maybe not to the depth of that he does, but we aren't required to have that depth. We're required to believe in Jesus, follow him, and obey him. We may never be a professor or whatever, but God can still use us. And the fact of the matter is the majority of Americans have been silenced. The voting system has been rigged. So you might think that all of Americans are all these evil, bad, non-Christian people, when the truth of the matter is that the government is really, and the media is really controlling everything. And that's the fact. I talk to people every day, and generally people aren't like what James White described them to be. So yes, I have faith, I have hope, I will pray for good things, and I encourage everybody else to do the same and to follow suit. You know what? I wear it as a badge of honor to be part of a movement that exposes the sin and the corruption in our government. And I really hope that Roe versus Wade gets overturned. And if I can be part of that, then I think that is a great thing. And so with that, I'll stop here, and I hope this video reaches out to millions of people. I know it probably won't, but I hope for that. Share this video, put it on your Facebook walls, and don't be discouraged. Whatever happens, don't be discouraged. And don't let other people discourage you. I want to help encourage other people. That's what I do. So, take care, guys.